Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you and you out this hour bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and the Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and also in on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Hope y'all are having a good Friday. And it's just been a wild week. I gotta tell you, it has been just... I've stopped looking at social media. Because, nope. Nope. I don't even want to look these days. It's just insane. Yeah. Very, 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 very insane. Chilly here in North Idaho. Winter is finally approaching. We had a kind of a start, and then a stop, and then a start, and just welcome to 2020. So, no matter how you are listening, whether on YouTube or one of the radio shows, drop me a hello in the chat room, or send me an email at wildpaisley@gmail.com. That's WILDEPAISLEY @gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can do so by going to etsy.com/Monarch Mountain Studio. That's MTN for mountain. Or you can go to patreon.com/TheSpacesBetween. And you can also do the hashtag bit. So that's $, the spaces between, hashtag. And I, since the number of COVID cases are going up, and apparently the common cold is making the rounds again, which I got to tell you, if the common cold is transferred by not washing hands and breathing on people, everybody being masked up and washing their hands, I mean, there is a run on soap again in North Idaho. One would think common cold wouldn't be being spread right now. I don't know. Anyways, just to check your immune system, go to ialife.com. It's your only source for ialife, which is a blend of ayahuasca and CBD. And yeah, it's good for what ails you. And inflammation, stress, cure for 2020. Oh, my stars, yes. So, yeah. Yeah, honestly, unless someone has specifically tagged me on social media, I'm not even checking it out. I've messaged people because I don't get all the ads on Messenger. I'm not even looking at headlines. Do we have a president yet here in the U.S.? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? I don't think anybody knows. I don't know. So, yeah. Hey, Justin. Justin, you're awesome. Thank you. I've not tried all of the products, just so far the lotion. Yes. Hey, Marie. Hope you're having a good evening. Morning. Good morning. I'm drinking coffee with you because, yeah, coffee. It's my friend. Mm-hmm. So, I have been. Oh, there you go, Lucid. Yeah, Chris Geo is super awesome. He's just the whole iLife combination that he's created to help Cherie is just, I love iLife. So, let's see. Coffee. Does anybody else use honey in their coffee? Just out of curiosity. I switched to honey about 6 weeks ago, and I've had it before, and I liked it, and I love it. But I've gone back to doing straight honey, and I gotta tell you, I would not do anything else. Oh, okay. Sorry, drama is hunting. And as long as she doesn't share, we're good. Yeah. Yucky. Yeah. Yucky. The call line is open tonight. That number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it's 44203-393-2871. So, I got to thinking since, and I mentioned this last month, that as we are moving into November, I'm going to talk about Witchy Tools again, just because, you know what? I think it's time to do that. I had done this, about a year and a half ago when I first talked about Witchy Tools. And at the time, I had a 1-hour show on Friday nights only, Saturday nights only. It's been a while. Anyways, I got to thinking it's time to go back through and do it all again, and maybe go into it just a little bit more because, yeah, I think it's important. And so I wanted to start with a disclaimer because, you know, if you go onto any social media type site, or Etsy shop, or just Google witchcraft these days, you're going to get all sorts of ads and such saying, hey, you should buy this, get this bowl, get that wand, get that athame, get wear this hat, all of that stuff. And hold please, the dog is trying to steal the mouse from the cat. It's gonna be that kind of night. And in reality, you don't have to have specific tools.
Is that a real mouse?
Yes, that's a real mouse.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least she's starting early this year.
Anyhow, you don't need all that.
Yeah, no, you don't need all that. Did you want the camera on you?
I don't care.
Because you don't have any light.
I don't have an eye either.
Oh, goodness. There we go. Hi.
I guess I'll turn the light on.
There you go. Hey, Don's in the house. Yeah, we got mouse fricassee going on. Yeah. But yeah, there's all sorts of posts and ads and such, saying you got to have this tool for that and this and that tool for this and everything else, and you have to have these tarot cards and those tarot cards, and you might want to have these oracle cards, and you need bells and whistles and staffs and robes and etc., etc., etc. And in reality, you really, really don't. Lady Death is lucid curious. Hey, Lady Death. Haven't seen you in a long time, chickie. Hope you're doing good. Now that it connects. And it wasn't on Paranormal Portal today. So yeah, you don't have to have all those special things to be a good witch. A good as in one that is doing everything they're supposed to be doing, or a pagan that's doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. Because you don't have to have all that fancy stuff. Now, is it good to have some things that are set aside specifically for your craft? Yes. And that's because they should be cleansed.
Is it because you don't use fabric scissors for paper?
Yeah. You don't drink the moon water. You don't have to. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Don't drink the moon water. Yeah. Fabric scissors for paper. What's another one?
My kitchen shears, which are used for chicken.
Yeah, they're used
and
for chicken.
Food.
Yep.
And you use them for
chicken and food.
And foam, and crafts and curios.
No, I have scissors for that.
You do now.
I've always had scissors for that.
Anyhow.
Hey, I trimmed chicken feathers this week. I went to the store. Actually, I went to the dollar store and I got 2 pairs of scissors because I figured one would break while trimming feathers for the chickens. Because, yeah, you don't have to have the right tool all the time. Sometimes you gotta make do. But no, when it comes to your witchy tools, your pagan tools, you don't have to have something uber specific. If you did have something specific, it's because they've been cleansed or anointed, or they are dedicated basically. And dedicated not meaning like, this is my kitchen shears, this is my fabric shears, this is my craft paper shears, this is my needlepoint shears, etc., that kind of thing. No, it's dedicated meaning you've done a ritual to dedicate that tool to your craft or your practice. It's in some respects you don't have to have something specific, but in others you don't want a cross-contamination. It's like, cutting up jalapeno peppers and then rubbing your eyes.
Oh, that's always fun.
That kind of cross-contamination is bad, and you'll cry about it a lot. So just be aware of the tools you're using and try to use them for the specific ones. So on that note, I'm just going to start. That's a big Malamute, Justin. 170 pounds. Seriously? Will you feed him? Cats? Is that why the kitten was in the food bowl? Goodness. Oh my. And so, I am an intuitive witch personally, so I tend to use what feels appropriate for me, for my path, for what I'm doing. And that's in saying that, if you are following a specific tradition or on a specific path or part of a specific group, you make sure you're using the right tool for what you have.
How do you check your battery?
My battery is fully charged. Okay, so it's not my speakers, it's my microphone?
Quite possibly.
Oh. Am I better now?
You're much better now.
That makes no sense. Okay, so, yeah, a lot better now. Holy cow. Regardless of your path, there are some tools that are pretty much across the board. Like an athame. So an athame is generally a knife-like tool. It could be a sword. It could be, what was the other word here? Bowline. So bowline is a blade in the shape of a half moon and is usually with a white handle, I guess. Generally it's used to harvest herbs. So that's not something I would ever buy, but yeah, sure. But an athame generally is a double-edged blade, but it could have a single blade. It kind of depends on, again, what you're trying to use. And an athame is used to direct energy, to cast a circle. It can be an alternative to a wand. They can be used for like cord cutting ceremonies. And it's very representative of the masculine energy and the element of air. And so yeah, just as a cutting tool, it's metaphorically used to cut things. They're not generally sharpened. They're generally pretty dull. So the store I work in, we have selenite swords.
They're tanto bladed cut.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Well, no, we have some hunting knife style ones now too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
A druid sickle, yes.
Yeah, druid sickle. Yep. And a sword. Generally, most people know what a sword is, but in a coven specifically, often it's a high priest or priestess is the one who is wielding the sword. The athame is not as specific to the high priest or priestess. Yeah, dagger, absolutely lucid. Lady Death. Are we calling you Lady Death or Lucid?
Well, she's lucid here, so.
Okay, hi Lucid.
Why not? I actually knew that because I think that's the name of her Etsy store, something like that. Anyhow.
What's the dog chewing on?
A piece of wood.
Okay.
Actually, it looks like a piece of...
Okay. So, an athame can be used to call quarters. It can be used for calling the elements. It can be part of opening rituals, closing rituals, hand fastings, initiations, christenings, pretty much anything that you might need to, draw a line in the proverbial sand with. My athame is in a super secret safe place. And, I think it's on the shelf there behind the picture. Is a hunting knife. And I had been kind of looking for one because I wanted one, but I didn't know where I was going to find it because, it should be, your athame should be specific to yourself. Ooh, I need to oil it. And it should call to you. You should have a connection to it, whatever it is. Now, mine is, it's a hunting knife. It's just a pretty standard hunting knife, actually. Wooden handle.
But it's the way it was received.
But yeah, it's the way it received. So I'd been kind of looking for about 18 months trying to find the right one. Looking online, Etsy shops, the knife shops, pawn shops, et cetera, et cetera. Any place that might have had a knife, I was looking at them. And I hadn't really found the right one. I'd found a couple that were kind of cool that I kind of liked, but nothing really just said, hey, this is me. And I was picking elderberries last year, and we have 4 elderberry trees that we can pick berries from. And one of them's a lot younger than the rest of them. And it's down kind of on the point of land just before you get down to the hay fields and everything. And so I'm looking at the tree. It's like, just not quite enough berries on it for me to pick this year. Just leave those for the birds. And here I'd been thinking about the athame for a while, and I happened to turn around and to walk away, and I glanced down where my feet were just because I wanted to make sure I didn't trip and fall on my face, because nobody likes that. And lo and behold, here's this knife just laying in the ground, on the ground, just laying there. So we've lived here for a number of years now, so it wasn't like this was a new place that I had never been before. This is something someplace I'd been on multiple occasions, walking around and stuff. Just glad we hadn't maybe gone sledding in that spot, because if there was a knife laying on the ground, that would have been bad. But it's not rusted, and you'd think if it had been laying out for any length of time, it would have rusted or something, even though it's a stainless steel blade. And the handle gone to muck, etc. So it's to me, it was just like, wow. So I was gifted with this athame, and so left an offering there at the base of that particular elderberry tree later. It was just pretty cool. So your athame, should really connect to you. It's your tool. Now, if it's a sword and it's part of your coven, your circle, or your druid sickle,
then
whatever,
it's part of your tradition.
Then it's part of the tradition. It's part of your path, etc. And so this was me. Lucid, if a tarot deck calls to you,
if you buy it, you buy it. Just make sure it's calling.
Some people collect tarot decks because that's what they do. I have 2 decks. I have a crow deck, raven deck, crow deck. I don't remember. Blackbirds. And then I have my sun and moon deck, and I love it. So it's your tools should really call to you, and you should have that connection to them. So athame. The next one on the list is a besom. Besom, B-E-S-O-M, also known as a broom. And it's generally made from straw, generally, and is bound to the at one end, and bound together at the end of a wooden pole of some sort. It can be made from birch twigs, and it could have like an ash staff or a willow staff, or just whatever you bought at Home Depot. But the besom, or your broom, is used to spiritually cleanse and sweep negative energy from your space. And that means you're purifying it before you do a ritual or spell work. And this one really should be separate from the one you're sweeping your floor with. Because your floor generally accumulates debris and dirt, pet dander, whatever it is. People hair, whatever you have in your home. And you don't necessarily want that to be cross-contaminated into your ritual space. If you have an altar that you're using to have with all your stuff on, and that's where your working space is rather than on the floor, you can use like a hand broom or a whisk broom. You don't have to have a full broom. And
but it makes spring cleaning so much easier.
It really does, yes. Now, there's a couple of ways you can use your broom when you're cleaning. If you're doing it for just energetic purposes, you don't actually have to have it touch the ground. You just want it to sweep along the ground. And if you're actually sweeping up the dirt, make sure you're sweeping it all up and getting rid of the dirt, because any energies that might be associated with that dirt, you want to take it out of your house, especially during like spring cleaning, like Dawn just mentioned, yeah, you want to take up whatever negativity or whatever energy might be associated with that dirt. You want to get it out of your house. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we do spring cleaning. It's generally recommended if you're going to do that light sweep, you're going to do it in a clockwise direction. And when you're done, you want to take that dirt right out the nearest door. Sweep that negative energy right outside. And then you want to close the door behind you if you're going it out the door. Because you don't want that energy to, suck back into your house when the wind changes direction. Now, for storing it, there's a couple different schools of thought on how to store your broom. Some people say upside down, some people say right side up, some say hang it horizontally above your door. If you do it above your door, it's supposed to ward off that negative energy from coming back in. I've seen other people put the door so it brushes down, so that every time you open the door, you're sweeping the energy. So it varies again, depending on what feels right to you. And part of it being intuitive, I'm going to say what feels right to you guys. When you're doing this, do your research, journal it. If you do something and you journal it and the results aren't quite what you wanted, journal that too, and fix it in your brain. I don't want to do things that way. Next time I want to go back to doing it the way I'm supposed to be doing it. Because what you're trying to accomplish is going to be impacted by the way you're cleansing your space. So making a clean sweep, if you ever heard that particular phrase, that's directly related to witchcraft. You're making a clean sweep of your sacred space. And it's how you do it. Let's see. In hand fasting, random thought, couples might jump over the broom if they want children. If they don't want children, they may not want to jump over the broom. So it's just, but that's also changed a bit because jumping over the broom was the way to signify that you were hand fasted at one point. So
Could also mean you want kids.
Yeah, you could just jump over the broom because you want kids. Generally recommend doing that with someone, not just by yourself. So I will get to anointing pharmacy down the way. Make a note. Don't want to forget that because I do talk about oils at some point. But we are about to go to our first break. Can you believe that already? I'm so glad you guys are here. You're waking me up. I was about ready to fall asleep.
I'm ready to go to bed.
I was reading stories to Mini-Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was ready to take a nap. Yeah. For some reason, Friday has been quite long today. How was your Friday?
Painful.
Yeah, how's your eye?
It hurts. It hurts bad.
Hey, pharmacy. What's good for a sty in your eye?
Like a very infected sty.
Musical clown?
Oh. It is at the portal, yes, lady. It certainly is.
That's a good place for it.
The wall has changed a few times, though, so it's moved around. He says a comfrey poultice.
All right. We'll have to get some of that. Yes. All right. So we're going to break. We'll be right back. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. And tonight we are talking about tools of the craft. And we'll see how far we get into my list, and we may carry over till tomorrow, too. So we'll see. We shall see. Next one is bells. So bells, rattles, and singing bowls. They're all kind of in the same category because they make noise. So once upon a time, bells were used to ward off evil, or evil spirits, and the vibrations that were caused. I have words. Were believed to be the source of a really great power. You know, the singing bowl. So rattles and singing bowls were also good noisemakers and can bring a symphonic, peaceful vibration to a sacred space or to magic work. Bells can be used to banish or summon spirits. You can ring a bell or clap your hands in the corner of a room to remove unwanted or negative energy. If you have, bowls or bells, often they're keyed specifically to different tones, like an A, B, C, that kind of thing. And like with singing bowls, they're used for healing. And yes, I'm just dinging it with my knuckle here, guys.
She's beating her bowl again.
With my knuckles. The vibrations, the sound vibrations are just I don't know, they're just awesome. With the singing bowls, at work we've got probably 24 of the blasted things, a variety of sizes and tones. And like the root chakra bowl, it's a C note, I think. That sounds right. And when we use it or play it, it really doesn't, it doesn't have very loud noise. You can barely hear it. But the waves are so strong, because that tone, you can just, the vibrations are just huge, especially compared to like the heart chakra, the A bowl, I think it is, and that's just a higher pitch to it. But just the sounds awesome, and I love my singing bowl. But the bowl itself, or excuse me, the bells are considered to be a feminine energy to them. No, leave my coffee alone.
Coffee.
Yes, there's
Forgot
coffee.
there was coffee made.
Yeah, there's coffee.
Can I splash it in my eye?
If you really want, tea's better for you.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Is that throat coat, does that have comfrey in it?
It might. If it doesn't, the Gypsy Cold Care does. So, trying to think what else I might have.
Anyhow, back to bells.
Back
and
to
bowls.
Bells and bowls. Love the bells and bowls. Let's see. That's pretty much all I had on the bells and bowls. Ta-da. Cauldrons, next to my list. So, cauldron is generally the most... Alright, if you think witches, wands... yeah, that too. But wands, brooms, and cauldrons.
Good idea, Justin.
Oh, that's sitting on top of the jewelry box.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is that? Cauldrons, yes. Which is generally associated with cauldrons, brooms, and wands. I mean, that's stereotypical witches pretty much everywhere in the history of everywhere. At least as far as contemporary history goes. Cauldrons are used in pretty much all of the traditions. And do have separate meanings. So in some of the Celtic traditions, the cauldron is associated with the concept of reincarnation and the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. It can represent water or fire. Because for some rituals, especially smaller ones, the fire can be lit within the cauldron. And to burn incense or spell ingredients. Or for something a little bit bigger, You light the fire outside and you set the cauldron on it. And it just, yeah, whichever is working best for you. Traditionally, it's a 3-legged cauldron and is made from cast iron. You can also do water scrying or brew potions in your cauldron as well. Now, it doesn't have to be specifically a 3-footed black cauldron that is 6 inches across and 4 inches deep with a handle and blah. Honestly, it could. I have a brass pot.
A Dutch oven.
It could be a Dutch oven, or a skillet, or a stainless steel bowl. Whatever you have that is appropriate. Don't go spend a bunch of money to get the super fancy whatevers. Pay attention. Use your budget.
I wonder if I put eye life in my eye.
It may look a little rainy and filmy. You could rub eye life under your eye.
Well, I'm considering Justin's CBD ointment, but he says it won't hurt your eye if you get it in. It might give you blurry vision.
Don't you already have blurry vision?
I'm worried about it stinging my eye, though. Yeah, I do have blurry vision. That thing hurts.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it hurts. I'm sorry. Next on the list is chalice. So chalice is very representative of water element and can be used in your sacred space as a feminine vessel. In magic circles, the chalice is sometimes filled with wine or water and passed around the group as a bonding exercise so everyone can sip it. Guess what? That means communion uses a chalice.
Oh, we talked about that last week, didn't we?
A little bit, yeah.
The rituals and sacraments of the Catholic Church.
Yeah. So, but you can also use a chalice if it's on your altar. You can use it for offerings to your deities or your spirits that you work with. You can put moon water or wine. And a chalice can be made of any material. It could be your coffee cup, honestly, if you have a special coffee cup or teacup. It could be a wine glass. It could be
a jug.
It could be a jug if that's your gig. And it's, it can be made of any material, metal, glass. I would avoid plastic just because I wouldn't put plastic on as a altar tool or a witchy tool.
It's not very natural, is it?
Yeah, no, not so much. Hemp, plastic, I could see, but even that. Yeah. But if you use an untreated metal, such as, say, pewter, for instance, I wouldn't necessarily drink out of it just because you might want to not get the lead poisoning.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. It's not the visions you're looking for.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah, just, it's same thing with the cauldron. If you're using a metal that is like pewter, for instance, and you want to brew a potion, it should not be one that you're ingesting or even rubbing on your skin because you don't need that extra element to your potions. No, just skip it. No reason to go have the chelation therapy afterwards. So
no doubt.
You're going the wrong direction. A pentacle is a 5-pointed star within a circle. It's often inscribed on wood or metal. It's regularly seen on an altar. It can be used as a focal point for rituals, meditation, consecrating your tools, etc. Often, they were made from easily disposed of materials such as cloth or paper, so that they could be burned to prevent discovery, especially during, say, the burning times. So, so just be careful. If you're, I suppose, still in the broom closet, and you don't really want people to know that you have, a pentacle lying around, something small. If you look over my shoulder here, you can see the star behind me. I made that out of sticks and hair ties with the mini-me. We were just kind of crafting and creating stuff. So he could be made from anything. And it doesn't have a circle around it. It's just a star right now. But You could put it inside of a star.
Circle.
Circle. That's what I meant. Sorry, I'm tired. The pentacle represents the earth element, and yeah, it's generally placed on an altar to hold items that will be blessed. So if you have so I have around here somewhere, it's a plate, a glass plate with a circle plate, round plate, and it's got a star in it. So yeah, it looks like a pentacle, and yeah, it's. If you're going to set it on your altar to you're going to be consecrating something, maybe a new tool that you just got, a new tarot deck, that kind of thing. It's a really good spot to do it. An altar, just real quick, is a very witchy pagan tool. As I mentioned last weekend, an altar really could be anything. Your altar is your touchstone. It could be a picture on the wall or whatever, just a way for you to mentally touch base with your craft, and sometimes if you are especially if you're in the broom closet, the pagan pantry, whatever, you don't necessarily want somebody to know that you're pagan. Yeah, just have a picture. It's like, hey, yeah, look at my outdoorsy crafty looking picture, that kind of thing. For those who are a little bit kind of bridging the gap there between
jumping the broom.
They're not jumping the broom. They're bridging the gap between being in the pagan pantry and being completely out of the closet.
Jumping the broom, meaning I'm coming out.
You had ibuprofen, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you're a little punchy.
The pain is actually really, really rough.
But it's a squirrel, rabbit. You could use a drawer as your altar if that's your, what's good for you, or what's going to work best for you, and because you can close a drawer and nobody knows unless they're being snoopy, which we've all encountered those people. Just someplace to put your tools for your craft or your practice. For me personally, I prefer to use an altar as a touchstone, but it could really be just your tool bench to put your stuff, to store it, keep it out of the way. These are your tools for your craft, and that's just the best.
Like one of those rolling trays when you're in the hospital and they're doing surgery and they roll that tray up to you and they got all their...
Exactly. It's their altar. Let's see. Oh, yes, Great Lake Sasquatch. There does seem to be a couple of different responses that people have when you do.
Yes,
You in Norse, Marvel comic book characters like Thor. I like no, or devil worshiper. I wish, if I could wave a magic wand and the purpose was to put some sort of information into everybody's heads, one of those on that list of potential information would be witchcraft, paganism does not mean devil worshiper.
Because you would have to, in my estimation, as I've said this before, you have to actually believe in Christ and Christianity to be a Christian devil worshiper. Because you would have to have a belief in God to believe in Satan.
Yeah.
That's my...
Yeah. So, yeah. It just... Yeah. People. I've been, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I've got a couple kids' books that I've been writing, and I've got one that I'm trying to get done, so I can get it published before Christmas. I'm working on it, guys. And in between, I wrote an ABC's book. They're kids' books. And it's like A for astrology, that kind of thing. But X was for xenophobia. I know, it's a big word.
Yeah, it's a really big word that can mean so many different things.
Basically, it says like, what'd I say? It's stop being afraid of the things you don't understand.
Right.
Just accept them. Yeah, it's just Actually, I had a lot of fun writing that. It's like trying to come up with different things that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, another thing to illustrate. So yeah, your altar is your sacred space. It could be a room, it could be a building, it could be your garden, it could be a park, or some place that you just need to have your touchstone for your path. Someplace where you can be grounded and focused, that kind of thing. Or it could just be your tool bench. Yes. But yeah, your altar, if you have one, keep it clean, keep it free of debris, and the stuff that you have on it should really resonate with you and okay. If you go into Pinterest or Instagram or Reddit or any of those, there's pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures.
That I stretched a doily between
okay. Hey,
whatever
Rio.
those are.
I'm
gonna turn my mic off.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, totally just lost my train of thought. Yeah, empty brass trunk. That'd be cool. Oh, yeah, your magical space, grounding, etc. There's no right or wrong way to set up an altar. Yes. There's all these pictures of these pretty, beautiful altars, everything set up just so, and everything is just, pretty, 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 pretty. And you know what? Most of us, your altar should look probably kind of similar to your house. It shouldn't be that abnormal. It should be representative of you and your path and who you are and who you want to be. And lucid, I make dream catchers as well with feathers and stones. I generally I string them rather than doilies, and some of the doily ones are really awesome. They are pretty. So it's just Don apparently has a bias for things not doilied. That could be a guy thing. I don't know. Let's see. What did I have next? So, Book of Shadows. I've talked about Book of Shadows in the past, or your grimoire. Your Book of Shadows is generally a notebook or journal of information and your magical practices. And these are things that are written by you and contain the things that you have learned. Spells, invocations, rituals, legends of deities, pantheons, moon charts, your interpretations, how they've...
Do you need me to pick that thing up again?
No, you don't need to pick that thing up again.
That thing's huge.
Yes, it's the size of a small child.
Is my mic back on?
Your mic is on, yes.
Oh, good. It is the size of a small child.
Yeah.
Weighs about the same, too. Oh, my camera's all messed up again.
It's all right. You're not on the camera. Yeah. But it's your Book of Shadows, your grimoire, your journals, and all that. That should really be. They're all about you and what your interpretation is, and what you're trying to do, and how is it working? Is what you're trying succeeding, not succeeding? Are you in a ritual, if you don't have something, do you not have an ingredient for a ritual, so you substitute something else out? And if you do, what is it? What are the properties? And how did it work? Did you get the results that you wanted? That's all stuff that you should be journaling anyways, really truly. Covens and circles and moots and all those should generally have a Book of Shadows pretty specific to the coven that is separate from each individual. Because generally you don't want to put, group stuff necessarily in your individual books. There is no one specific way to set up a Book of Shadows. You could do it by section, you could do it chronologically, you could do it by subject matter, you could just... whatever you choose to do. It's good to have an index. So Lucid asks, should you have a scratchbook and an actual book, or keep it all together? So,
The answer is yes and no. It's up to you.
It's up to you.
But see, if you like journal, like scratch journal, like you wake up at
Mhm.
night and you write it down, and then you can rewrite it into your actual book.
hmm
So yeah, a scratch journal would be cool. That way you can work out the thoughts and come up with better language, or tailor it more to a witchy way. Sure, why not? And
Yeah,
especially if you have an actual book, you don't want to be making mistakes in your actual book either.
yeah, but
You want it to
sometimes
be
you want
nice and
those
clear.
notes. So I have like the book I have is really the
Huge.
size of a small child.
Okay, I'll get it.
Yeah, and it's and it's pretty. I don't want to mess up the pages with chicken scratch and scribbles and crossing things out if I don't have to. So yeah, I like to do journaling and such. Hold on, let me see where the camera's at. Camera needs to point down, 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 down. All right. To the right, just a little bit. Okay, more to the right. More, 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 more. All right. So, that is a set of headphones right next to that big old book.
Thing's friggin' huge.
Yeah, it's a huge book. So for those of you on YouTube, it's what,
Huge. It's friggin' huge.
2 feet tall, ish, and yeah,
That wide.
yeah, it's a big, beautiful book, and yes, I have a spot specifically for it. I just got to finish setting it up because it needs a stand all by itself. Because yes, yeah,
It needs an altar of its own.
yes, it really does need an altar of its own. So yeah, I like to journal things, and from there I will put things in a book of shadows. And it came that way, Lucid. It was a gift for my friend.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah,
My damn camera.
your camera's all messed up.
There we go.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, it's a leather-bound, hand-bound journal or book journal. A friend of mine wants to buy one for art projects, but it's handcrafted paper, and the leather is embossed, and it's got the chakra stones in it.
Chakra stones bound onto the front.
Yep. And yes, you do have easel, exactly, cat. If there is a small problem, if it's a big, beautiful book, sometimes it's hard to write in because people don't want to break them or mess them up. But at the same time, you just gotta kind of dive right in. Just be careful what kind of pen you use so it doesn't bleed through.
Yeah, that paper will suck the ink right in.
Yep. Mini Me asked what blotting paper is.
It's the stuff you dry your ink with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we were reading the
Borrowers.
Yeah, the borrowers, and she wanted to know what blotting paper was. So,
I hate my camera.
so, anyways, yeah, you just the Book of Shadows, your grimoire, it varies. I suppose in this particular book, this would be something to hand down to future generations. You could set it up in a 3-ring binder. If I were to take on an apprentice, I would probably put stuff in a 3-ring binder so it's easy to pull out and copy or doodle on or change out as things.
You could always just take pictures.
Yeah, but then they have to print things. So yeah. But yeah, journaling is good because yeah, you can just jot things down. As I've been writing, I jot things down in the notebook because I chicken scratch out and change the words and that kind of thing. For me, it's just easier actually than trying to type it out because the words flow differently when you're writing by hand versus when you're typing.
Sure.
Yeah, they do.
I wrote some pretty awesome papers for college just sitting down and verbally vomiting on a typewriter.
And sometimes you just, that's what you got to do. Candles, real quick, can be used for many purposes, whether it's summoning deities or manifestation, and generally represents fire in your spells and rituals. Candles are used for spell work, energy work, light. It's good to have candles. You should have candles. Candles should be like
Standard
essential
equipment.
There's this like essential service. You got to have candles.
Essential service.
Yeah. You just need candles. Candles are good for everything. Sometimes they smell good.
Sometimes they smell like crap.
Sometimes you need to anoint them. So we'll talk about that when we come back. The singing bowl. I promise. Top of the hour. We'll see you in a few.
Ouch.
As we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and
Hello, my lovelies. I'm typing away rather than paying attention to what I'm doing. All right. So, yes, singing bowl time. Good thing your head isn't. Oh, no, your head is hurting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does, but oh well.
I love this bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I say that every week.
Too bad you can't put water in it.
I could put water in it.
It won't stay there.
I know. It doesn't need to stay there. It's got a small defect in the bottom of the bowl, so there's a little bitty hole. Little bitty bitty teeny tiny hole.
Itty bitty teeny.
So, yeah. So Great Lakes, Sasquatch. I was raised Lutheran also.
The only thing I have to say is better a wolf of Odin than a lamb of God.
Ouch. Wolfpack howl?
Ow!
Stop, you're going to start a
Sorry.
howl.
You're going to start a howl. That movie was hilarious.
It's awesome.
Walter. Walter's not here, man. Anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Marie asked about
How to
how to get rid of a journal if you're done with it. And it's got information in it you don't necessarily want anybody else to have. And so personally, I would cleanse it. Salt is good. Selenite is good. And mostly you're cleansing it of your energy is why you want to cleanse it. And then I would do a small ritual to release the energy and the information in it out into the universe, if you will, for the next person to receive. Because, at some point somebody else will be ready to receive that information. And then, I'd burn it. Put it in the barbecue. I don't know. Burn it. If there's fire bans in your area, follow the fire bans. Don't do it right now. Wait until you can burn things.
So
be safe.
I think the lamb is interchanged with the lion in the Bible. Actually, what happened was that's one of the Mandela effects. Is the Bible used to say, or at least what I remember, is the lion shall lay down with the lamb, but they changed it to wolf. Somewhere it got changed to the wolf will lie with the lambs. Which kind of makes sense in a way because you're always worried about the boy who cries wolf. You know, the whole story about, the wolf coming to get the lamb. But that's not what the Bible said. The Bible said the lion will lie with the lambs. So, but anyhow.
It says wolf now?
Yeah, and supposedly it says wolf. I haven't been able to find...
Oh.
Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
Got a Bible around here somewhere.
But I don't think lamb and lion are necessarily interchangeable in the Bible. But, I'm not exactly a theologian.
Yeah, do you know which version of the Bible?
Apparently the King James.
Really? I don't know, they keep changing that one.
It's an ME, a Mandela effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Mari, cleanse it somehow,
You basically want to break the tie.
Selenite.
Break the tie too. Yep, and then burn it. Yep.
Which you could, and so going back to Paisley's talked about the basil ceremony or writing intention on a basil leaf and then burning it and then letting the ashes float away. Maybe writing something across the front of the journal. I now release this, energy and then burning it. Something like that. But anyhow.
Yeah, and then channel your inner Elsa and let it go. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to continue on. Clothing. So, all right. There is no specific dress code generally.
Are you sure?
When it comes to performing magic.
We're not supposed to dress like a bar wench in green and gold.
You can if you really want to.
Oh, sounded cute to me.
Okay. Let's see. Some witches do choose to wear specific items or colors of clothing when casting spells or performing rituals. You can have formal wizard robes. Colors can affect the way the energy moves, and many witches choose to wear black to prevent distraction. Wearing a ritual cloak, robe, or mask can focus the mindset and help differentiate magical work from non-magical activities. And yes. It depends on your past. So once upon a time, when witches had to go hide out in the back 40 to do any kind of magic, black was really the preferred color because you could go
Blend
out,
in.
you blend into the background, and it's easier to hide. Because sometimes, yeah, in nowadays, geez, there's really no specific color. I mean, you can go sky clad, which is a lack of clothing completely, if you really want to.
Which still looks black in the nights. Sorry.
We live in North Idaho. Most people sky clad this time of year are day glow white.
And they're usually dead by morning.
Yeah. So it's just because it's cold. So, can you wear black? Yes. Can you wear white? Sure. It depends.
Chartreuse.
Chartreuse is your periwinkle. Whatever it is that you feel that you need to do or have to set aside for your particular ritual, that's what you should do. Now, some traditions do require a formal dress of some sort, robes, generally.
It's all about your tradition.
Because, you sometimes it's just the act of putting on the ritual wear, ritual garb, that kind of thing, helps to set your mindset into the right place. Because, sometimes you want to make sure your brain is in the right place. You're in the right mental state for your ritual. Every little bit helps. But other than that, your fuzzy bunny slippers and your fleece pajamas and your bathrobe, yes, you can. Do you have to? No. Do you have to wear a hat? No. I mean, is it, whatever works best for you as an intuitive? Yeah, whatever works best for you. If you are on a specific path, follow the discretion of the path. So if you talk to your priestess or your priest, then generally you will know. I've been to one very public ceremony, and the people leading the ceremony dressed a little bit differently than everybody else. So it was in part to mark them as leading the ritual, and it's the high priestess wore black, and her the priest and priestess that were helping her both wore red. So, but that was part of their coven, their tradition. I think they wore red. At least one of them wore red. It's been a while. It's 2020. I don't remember anything. I can't. One of these days, I'm not going to be able to use that as an excuse. So yeah, it was. Whatever works best for you and your tradition. Going on, crystals. Crystals are a big deal, often found in any witchy pocket. Well, pretty much any pocket. The days that I don't have stones in my pocket, I generally don't have pockets. Because I think I think stones are really important. Crystals, stones. So crystals hold the energy of the earth.
Somebody asked me what mine did the other day. She says, "So what do you wear that for?" Or she said, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, it's quartz and tourmaline." She goes, "What's that for?" I said, "Kind of, amplification and to
Protection?
Get rid of negative vibes." She goes, "It must not work because your necklace broke." I'm like, "Yeah, it sucks." Sorry. She's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. Yeah. Each stone, crystal, rock, gem, whatever, has a unique vibrational frequency. And they can be used in meditation, in manifestation, healing work, focusing, anything like that. And so depending on your intention and what you need, choose a crystal with the appropriate correspondence. If you don't know, do your research. There's a lot of books out there, a lot of information on the internet.
But also, those frequencies call differently to different people too.
Yes,
so.
they do. Yes. And so, like, I often have was serpentine in my pocket because serpentine's good for healing. Quartz of some sort, some jasper, some lapis lazuli, some what else do I have in my pocket? Tourmaline. Tourmaline's good.
Gosh, GLS, I hope not, because I sleep with quartz on.
Um,
That might be part of my problem.
So the question is, if is it true you shouldn't keep quartz near where you sleep? That I would have to say that's a
Misnomer.
false on that one. Quartz is an amplifier. Oh shoot, hold on.
Your eyes are going to pop out someday, I swear to gosh. Jeez.
Excuse me. I had to sneeze.
Your glasses are going to be splatted on the backside. What happened? Oh, I blew out an eye when I refused to sneeze.
I sneezed.
That wasn't a sneeze.
I was sneezing. But no, quartz is an amplifier. So
If your intention is go to sleep,
yeah, have the quartz. So if like you need protection and tourmaline's with you, like Don has a quartz with tourmaline in it. So tourmaline is good to help protect you. Quartz, amplifies it. So yeah, gosh darn, I gotta tell you, I have quartz in my pocket a lot. I wear quartz a lot. Not right at the moment because I washed my hands and took everything off, but I have rings with quartz in them. Yeah, quartz is big. Wow. I'm gonna have to look into that Great Lakes because that just
leave it to farm.
hey, Titan's not here,
No, Titan. No, farm makes statements. Titan asks questions. Farm says quartz is used to make no battery lighter grill igniters. Piezoelectric effect. Striking it causes high voltage. So it's like those. It's kind of like those electronic lighters you buy. It goes click, 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 click. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, is it? Now that's a fire. I'm so tired and I hurt. Yes.
So I just Googled it real quickly. There's a quick list here. Crystals to avoid near the bed. Don't store your crystals under your bed. I don't know why not. Sometimes you need to have a crystal under your bed.
Sometimes you should have it under your pillow.
Right?
Strapped to your forehead.
Avoid very large crystals near the head of your bed.
That's true, because you don't want to get poked in the eye with that dragon tooth amethyst.
The next one is never place crystal points pointing directly at your head.
No shit.
Fire element crystals can be over-energizing. And spiritual or high vibration crystals can be overstimulating. So maybe that's what it is. Quartz maybe for some people just extraordinarily high frequency for some people. But no, I have no problems with quartz near the bed. Under the bed, under the pillow. Selenite under the pillow, not a bad thing either. No, not off topic. We're talking about stones and crystals right now. Yeah. Interesting. No. Quartz in the bedroom. I don't know why you wouldn't have that. I'm going to have to ask somebody tomorrow. I know someone who's also an expert in stones. And I shall ask because, curious now. Overstimulating. It's just quartz. So if you're being overstimulated in the bedroom.
No.
Okay, Beavis.
Overstimulated.
Maybe it's some of the other stones that you have in the bedroom that are too close to the quartz. And maybe you need to separate them. Put them in opposite corners. Next on my list is divination tools. Divination tools such as crystal balls, like the one I have over my shoulder. Tarot cards, oracle cards, runes, scrying mirrors.
Talk about another big frickin' piece of glass.
Yeah, right. Pendulums, etc. have many uses. and including receiving messages and information, confirm your intuition, and communicate with your guides. Most witches do not work with all of the available tools because, wow, there's a lot of information that can be overwhelming and that you might need to learn to work with all of the tools. Generally, you pick one or two and you practice with those and you learn them. I have runes, and recently I've acquired tarot cards, but I also have a pendulum, and I have the crystal ball. Crystal ball is really fun to meditate with. So
40-pound crystal ball.
yeah, you don't want to drop that on your toe.
Where do you get these huge items like the grimoire or the book of shadows, whatever you want to call it? The freaking thing over there, that thing's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a few of those. Mm-hmm. I don't know. They just kind of accumulate. I think they're awesome. They're perfect. Often, if a crystal has disappeared, it means that you may be done with it for a little while and somebody else needs it. Or your guides have been...
Porting and deporting.
Are just like, you need to take a break from that one. Moldavite is one of those. Jeez. If you have Moldavite,
Okay.
and it's a very transformative stone, and often if you don't really need it, you will lose it. And I've talked to people where they've put it in like a terracotta pot and full of like Himalayan salt to cleanse it, and they will put the moldavite in the pot to cleanse, and they go to get it out, and the moldavite is gone, and it's a pot with no holes. And
That's because the salt dissolved it.
not moldavite. Moldavite's a meteorite that fell in the Czech Republic.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes.
So yeah, it's I'm just so at some point moldavite will say, "All right, peace out, Cub Scout. You're done with me for now." And it could be a ring, it could be a pendant, it could be earrings, bracelet, anything like that. And at some point, when you're done using it, it's going to go away. And so, Lucid, if you want to try scrying,
Let's do it the Nostradamus way.
don't do it the Nostradamus way, unless you want to YouTube it.
Wonderful.
But no, I'm kidding. You
Oh.
could use mirrors. You could use the crystal ball. There's a couple different ways to scry a bowl of water. Runes, I think, are awesome. I love runes. And in a way, runes are simplified over tarot cards because it's a rune, and you learn everything you can about the rune. There's no extra images. It's the rune. I mean, it's you can't get much more absolute than that. It's the rune. But either the interpretation of the different runes, especially combined in different ways, that's a little bit harder. So because they do interact differently. So I generally, if that's what you're going to do, journal it. So I say journal a lot. Because you definitely need to write down what you get when you're journaling or when you're doing your divination, and then your interpretation of it. And then looking back, were you right or were you wrong? And how close were you? What really happened? That kind of thing.
A good, decent-sized black crystal ball, or black obsidian, whatever, really expensive. They're hard to find, too, good-sized ones.
So at the store, we have a rainbow obsidian one that's about like, it's about 6 inches in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
That's about $300.
130 centimeters.
I'm
Centimeters.
American. I don't speak centimeters.
Okay. Whatever.
So, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
No, that would be too big. That would be more like 130 millimeters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyhow.
But anyways, your divination. So when you're using divination, make sure that you, regardless of what tool you're using, have a journal for it. So if you're doing tarot, have a journal for your tarot cards. If you're doing runes, have one specifically for your runes.
Good point, Lucid.
Because you want to make sure you're tracking what you're doing, how you're learning, and remember, not all tarot cards are created equal. Not all oracle cards are created equal, and not all rune sets are created equal. Some of them are just very, very different. Just you want to make sure you are tracking the information that you're learning, and especially as you're beginning, what kind of information are you getting? Are you drawing, the tower card all the time? Why are you drawing the tower card all the time? There's got to be a reason. So you write it down, track it, your interpretation of it. Is it for you? Is it for someone else? Yeah, journal. It's the best way to go back and make sure you are learning things.
Right.
And if for some reason you were wrong, you want to write down, hey, I was wrong, and this is really what happened. And you, say 6 months down the road, you go back and look at some of those earlier divinations that you did, and you're like, oh, that's what that meant. I'm a derp. Why didn't I see that then? Because you'll be clued in, and it'll make sense. And then in other respects, it'll show you your growth as you're learning things. So it's not just, hey, all this work that I put into this thing and I don't know anything yet. It's more like, oh, all this work I did and look at everything I've learned. So it just kind of helps keep you focused and on task. Herbs, just like crystals, herbs have a very specific energy, and not necessarily the green herbs, but all of the herbs. And each one holds a unique vibrational frequency. And, medicinals, holy cow, herbs are a huge big deal. And they can be used in spells, and teas, incense, smudging, kitchen witchery, baths, self-care rituals, sachets. There's... Doggone, you can use them
for my eye.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sorry, it's a reoccurring theme.
All right. Yeah, just all sorts of, herbs. Herbs are big. If you've got a kitchen with even salt and pepper in there, you've got herbs. And you can use them for spell work. So yeah, it's just, I just use them. And if you use herbs a lot, I would generally recommend that you have a mortar and pestle. That way you can grind them if you need to.
Like grinding bone to make
Yeah.
bread.
Sure. Because it's a lot easier to crush leaves or petals, stalks, or rosins to make powders. So I have walnut leaf that we dried and crushed with the mortar and pestle. And then I've got horsetail fern and, what's another one that I have? Mint, sage, and wild lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
All those things. As the apothecary grows, yep, trying to have more stuff. So moving on, incense. Incense is a big deal. Incense is good for cleansing and focusing your intentions on manifestation and meditation and blessing and purifying and yourself and others and your tools and everything else. They come in sticks and cones and powders, more smells than you could shake a stick at. A lot of the different smells have different purposes, and you can find them online. You can find them in your metaphysical shops. A lot of you can get tobacco, loose leaf tobacco, at pretty much any tobacco shop, and that can be very cleansing. I have some pine rosin that I collected myself, and then I've got like Palo Santo, and I've got sweetgrass and
You got
sage.
cedar
and
rosin too, don't
I've
you?
got cedar rosin. I've got cedar smudge, sage smudge. So all of those different things. Smudge. And so yeah, it's all the incense is just good. I mean, yes, Catholics use it too, but no, you use it too for your practice. So yes, Dawn needs to stop touching the eye. We'll be right back.
Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our heart. Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath the soul in flight, songs of love and love of life, guide us to our Mother of darkness, mother of light, earth beneath thy soul in flight, songs of love and
Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me, the songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is the last segment for tonight. Here, talking about Witchy Tools. And let's see. Oh, goodness gracious me. So, next on the list, rope or string?
Quarter-inch cotton braided. Thanks.
I'm not sure how to feel about you knowing that so exactly. Ropes or strings can be used for knot magic, Knot, witches' ladders, charms, and hand fasting ceremonies can also be used for binding spells and securing pouches. So yeah, knot magic. Honestly, you could, if you do knot magic, you could have a piece of string with all sorts of knots on it. Could be very representative of your altar. Put it on a keychain, so you have your altar. Kind of goes with you wherever you go. So, yeah. Again, altars are touchstones. So yeah, ropes or strings. Just good to have on hand, anyways. And when it comes to hand fasting, often use specific strings or specific colors, ribbons for the hand fasting, representative of the deities and longevity, the bond, or if the couple has, they've chosen colors for their wedding, then you could use those as well. And they're braided together, and then, yeah, the hand fasting. So, statues or statuettes, figurines, dolls, sculptures, anything like that, could be a part of your altar as well. Often they are used to represent, the deities that you work with, or if you have puppets. Also, they could be representative of the individual for your spell work. Let's see. They can also be used for visualizations or for offerings. And, again, if you have statues on your altar, statuettes on your altar, they should be representative of your path. I have a figurine of the goddess, kind of the traditional goddess figurine. Again, a super secret safe place. I need to organize. Actually, I know where it is. So, it's just, for me, it's very representative of the feminine aspect, of the goddess. So, whatever you use, it needs to resonate with you. And often, again, if you are making things, you'll have a stronger connection. That's why if someone says, "Oh, I don't use a store-bought Ouija board. I use one that I made myself." Like, yeah, you have a stronger connection to it. It is part of you. And, okay, first rule of paganism for me, stay away from the Ouija boards, people. Just don't. You'll be better for it. You'll be happier for it in the long run. So, but yeah, statuettes. And they don't have to be fancy stonework or cast bronze or gold or anything like that. It could be, if it represents your path, it could be an action figure, I guess. You could get an action figure of Thor or Loki or, just something like that. So yeah, it just would, if it's representative of your path and your belief set and how you want to do your work, then that's what you use. I wouldn't recommend Barbie and Ken unless that's your target. So yeah, just be aware. Wands. So wands are, again, very, very traditional witchcraft type tools. They can be made from any natural material and are used for summoning entities, invoking deities, directing energy, blessings, consecrating other magical tools, sacred spaces. Most traditional wands are made from wood, and each different type of wood has its own magical correspondence as well. The wand is very representative of the masculine energy and power. I mean, obviously, And yeah, I just, for instance, when talking about wands and such, the different woods, yeah, they're
You've gone over that, yeah.
Mhm.
But it was,
yeah, exactly. I have gone over it. It's been a while.
God, yeah. When
Wands
you
and
did
staffs.
rods and staves,
Mhm.
yeah.
For instance, a birch wood is often very swishy. It's very limber, if you will. Doesn't really carve well. Has a
Trust
very
me, I know.
light tone, light color. But some people really, really like birch. Cedar is generally representative of quiet resilience and is often underestimated. Um, and generally, people who have cedar wands are a little bit more perceptive. So yeah, just yeah, just uh, not all woods are created equal. Um, Shush. And you just make sure if you're going to have a wand or a store-bought wand, it's something that that you connect with. Whether hardwood or softwood, you guys are just horrible. Um, it, yeah, shake my head and look away, trying to remember what I'm talking about.
I was just wondering about morning woods.
I'm throwing things at you. The only thing I have to throw at you is my athame,
Just
and
don't
I'm
throw
not going to throw that.
That's dangerous
Yeah.
stuff.
I'd probably hit you sideways with it, poke out your other eye. So, yeah, just and make sure whatever you're using resounds with you, that you have that connection to it. And yeah, if you're buying something that's been crafted by someone else, cleanse it. You don't know what they were doing when they were making that wand or carving it or whatever. You don't want that energy. So, so if you are going to craft your own wand, make sure you do the research into the different types of woods to know, so that you get the right material for the project. So if you've ever watched Harry Potter, and I'm gonna mute Don. He's just over there laughing and snorkeling. So yeah, in Harry Potter, where they're choosing the wands and whatever, that's where that whole process came from. You want to make sure you have the right material. A thurible or incense burner. So often, a hot coal is placed within a incense burner or thurible to burn the incense or other herbs during a ritual. So the incense, like we mentioned earlier, is very representative of air. The coal would represent fire, and the combination of the two are used to purify tools or ritual areas, just like burning sage. Yeah, Lucky's not
My hat's giving me a headache.
in tonight. Lucky's out, or else she and Lucid would
Oh,
both be, spitting coffee through their noses. You guys.
God. Oh,
I swear, kids. It doesn't matter how old you are. All men are 9-year-old boys on the inside. You just have that.
sorry.
You're not on camera. You can cry your little heart out.
It's not crying. My eye is weeping.
Your eye is weeping. You're not crying. Your eye is weeping.
That's correct. Oh,
Oh my stars.
boy.
So the last item on my list is yourself. Regardless of what tools you have with your altar, none of them will work if your intentions are not right, if your energy isn't ready to do the ritual, if you don't have confidence in what you're doing. the best tool that you have when it comes to magic is yourself. You look stoned.
I'm sorry.
Straight up.
I'm telling you, it's pain. It really hurts.
Oh goodness.
No. Lady Death has passed on.
I'm not
She
sure
has
what
taken herself off to the netherworld.
I'm not sure what Justin put in that ointment that you just rubbed on your eyes, but seriously, you got all squinty eyed. Yes. So yeah, whatever it is you're trying to do, you really are the best tool. It's you doing the research, you doing the journaling, you doing the actual ritual itself, interpreting it and understanding it, and learning from it, and accomplishing what you need to do. Oh goodness, Carlton, are you a toll, a troll, or a tool? Because you've got kind of all three going on there. I'm not sure which.
Let's make sure you polish it.
Oh, my stars.
It's like that, my pussy.
You can't drop something like that without explaining it.
Oh, yes, I can, and I do it all the time. Ugh. That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. So, yes. Witchy Tools. I'm trying to come back to topic, and I'm just like, I'm trying, Lucid, but I'm just, I guess we've just
Anyhow.
too many shiny, sparkly things tonight. Jeez, Pete, you guys. I don't know. What am I talking about tomorrow night? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I don't know what I'm even doing tomorrow night.
So, intention, I think, is something I just don't ever talk about enough. So I'll talk about that real quick.
How do you not talk about intention enough?
Because I think it's hugely important.
You know, if I was in so much pain, I would be fully intent on Justin's last statement. That was my intent.
Oh. If I didn't have to work tomorrow, Justin? Absolutely. So maybe tomorrow night after work, after this. Yeah. Intention is really, really important, because sometimes we can convince ourselves of what we want to achieve, and because it feels like it's the right thing, or you've been told it's the right thing to do, but often it's not. So you really need to be careful of what your true intent is, your true purpose, when it comes to a ritual or a ceremony, or what you're trying to do. What is the end game here when you're doing a ritual or connecting with people? And if you don't have a clear intention, you're not going to have the results that you're looking for. Just like working with tarot or a pendulum. Pendulum's a big deal. So if your intention is not clear when using a pendulum, your results aren't going to be clear. Same thing with pretty much any of the other divination
Dare I say
types.
they'd be crystal clear?
They won't be crystal clear. I'm going to tourmaline you. Excuse me. If your intention isn't clear, if your question isn't clear when you're using your divination tools, your results aren't going to be clear. So if you want to make sure you have the question set in your mind, and that your intention is set correctly, in order to get the answers that you're looking for. So if someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, can you do a reading for me?" You're like, "Yeah, sure, I can do a reading for you." And what's your question? and they say, "Oh, I just want to know what's coming up at work, in relationships, your physical health, your mental health,
Final destination.
2020." I mean, it's such a non-specific question that is really hard to get a more specific answer. So, say you're doing a tarot card reading for someone, they just say, "Hey, what's coming up?" And you do a 3-card reading, and it's like, well, looks like you're going on a journey. And they're like, "Oh, well, where am I going?" It's like, "I don't know." Now you're asking another question. For all we know, you're going on a journey across the sticks. We don't even know what your journey looks like. So you need to really, they need to have a clear question if you're going to do a reading for someone else. Just deep cleansing breath, figure out what your intention is, and then move forward. And just same with the tools, just like my athame came to me. Put it out there, put it out into the world. Like, hey, I am looking for this, or I want to achieve this. Set your intention, set your goal, and if you put it out there, it'll happen. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence or happenstance. It's very much with intent, just like my athame. I'd put it out there. It's like, hey, I really want to get an athame, and I had said that to my younger boy, I think it was. Like, hey, I really want to get an athame, but I don't know which one it is, and I'm looking, and I had a couple bookmarked. Like, hey, this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want. But if there's something better that comes along, that's what I'm going to get. And here I had one just literally show up at my feet. That's a pretty much a manifestation of putting it out there. The singing bowl, at work we have several singing bowls, and it was a quiet day, and I went through and I played all the singing bowls, and I wasn't sure which one I really liked until I got to this one, and I preferred this one, but I didn't pick it right away. I wanted to think about it, make sure it was the right one. And so sometimes, if you come across a tool that you think you want, whether it's a wand or a singing bowl or a statuette, don't just spontaneously buy something because, oh, hey, that's the shiny thing that I want. Think about it a little bit. Sometimes you need to sleep on it. You need to ponder it. Is this really what I need? Is this an investment in my spiritual health? Or is this just, I think it's cool and that's why I'm going to buy it? Sometimes they overlap. Often they don't. So just, if you're going to manifest it, make sure you're manifesting the right thing. Lucid says, wanting some singing bowls. Yes, manifest that goodwill. Absolutely. And I prefer a hand-tuned set, just because that way you're really getting the right tone. The one that I have is cast. It's not hand-tuned, but it's got some really awesome etching and engravings on it. And it's got the Buddhas in the bottom. It's a 5 Buddha bowl. It's
It's a big friggin' bowl.
it's not a big bowl.
You get 5 Buddhas in it. It's a big bowl.
It's not that kind of Buddha. It's not that kind of party. We have some at work. A couple weeks back, I had a migraine. We tried the singing bowl for... which one was it? I don't remember what chakra it was that we tried, but it was a big old singing bowl. We turned it upside down on my head and rang my bell.
Jesus Christ. God. Gotta be kidding me.
No. And it actually, it worked. As long as the bell was ringing, I felt better. But you know what? As soon as the bell stopped, the headache came right back. So, it only helped a little bit. And when it comes to your path, your practice, and your journaling and stuff, when you're writing down your journal entries, make sure you're adding on your emotions and how you're feeling, because often our emotions that we're experiencing will impact our work. So if you're angry, it's going to impact your ritual or your ceremony. When in doubt, go chop vegetables. If you're angry, chop some vegetables. It's really, really hard to chop vegetables when you're upset. Because if you do, you're going to cut yourself, and then most of us don't want that to happen, so we slow down, we stop being quite so angry, and we let all that anxiety and such out. So yeah, go chop up some carrots or onions or potatoes or something. Just put them in the fridge. I don't know about you guys, but I'll cook with them later this week if I don't use them right away. And yeah, it releases that anger, and I'm ready to refocus on what it is I want to accomplish. So you can do the same thing with meditation. Why are you feeling that way, and release that energy out. Pharmacy says split some firewood, get it all out. Yep. Really hard to split firewood angry. You do it too many times, and it's a good way to get an axe head into the shin. Trust me, you don't want that. It would probably hurt. If you keep rubbing your eyes down, you're going to get pink eye. Okay, maybe you already have pink eye. I'm sorry.
Inflammation.
You have inflammation in both eyes now.
No, that's just tired.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Justin, you don't want to trim those either. Or your bonsai tree or your flowers. It's when
You
you...
end up rolling up yellow pages.
Yeah, it's... You just... You're such a derp. And Lucid, no, your conservative state will not be the last. It'll probably be Idaho, because, yeah, Idaho.
Things weren't even finished counting, and it was always like 80% red.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of people who voted. They said that they voted for the independents because they wanted the third party to grow a little bit, so there is a third party rather than just get, shuffled off into the corner. But yeah, I think they should just legalize it. So, anyways, I don't know. Any other Friday thoughts there, Mr. Don, or are you just gonna...
No, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, I can tell. Even the cat's done. She had her side of mouse fricassee. And
She rolled in the catnip and fricasseed a mouse.
yep.
Now she's passed out on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we need to get her a keyboard.
Whatever.
They have those now. The only thing I really didn't talk about was an altar cloth. Just real quick. An altar cloth is really just a cloth. You can get a fancy one with different embroidery symbols on it, or paint different symbols on them, or whatever. Often it's just a cloth. Get a nice piece of fabric from the your fabric shop, or tablecloth, or snazzy scarf, or whatever it is. Just something to set aside a certain space as your altar. Sometimes having that altar cloth is a good thing. So if you have, say, a bookshelf and you just want one shelf to be your altar space, then yeah, I would definitely use the altar cloth just to designate that one spot as, yep, this is what it is. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to talk about emotions a bit, just because they're running high right now, and channeling emotions is a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Carlton says he hopes you feel better.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I truly do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at Justin's. Amazing. 201% in a few states. Yeah. As 2020, the year the zombies voted.
Yeah, exactly. Michigan was 101. On Wednesday night, it was 101 people voted. 101% of the people voted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then you just said something about they found 40,000 more
Yeah.
ballots
Yeah.
in New York.
Hmm. Crazy world we live in. Crazy times. Someday this will be a pass-fail question on somebody's history test.
What was the worst year ever?
Right? So, on that note, actually, it's a good year. So, we'll see you tomorrow night. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Have a good night, all.
As we will, so mote it be the spell forever done.
Mother